Good morning, boys and girls. It's Lay Pastor Mike and Gracie the Wonder Dog, and we're here to share another Sunday school lesson with you today. A story about David, a small shepherd boy who God picks to be the king of Israel. It's a wonderful story that tells us that no matter what shape or size we are, no matter how we might look different than somebody on the outside, God looks at what's inside our hearts. We thank the Odekirk family for bringing today's Sunday school lesson to us and for sharing with us. And now, Gracie, are you ready to hear the Sunday school lesson? Are you ready to hear the Sunday school lesson? Really? You're ready? You give me a kiss? Okay. Sit back and enjoy the lesson, boys and girls.
Our story today is David is chosen. God said to Samuel, I have a job for you. I want you to anoint a new king. Here's what you need to do. Bring a horn filled with oil to Bethlehem and look for Jesse and all his sons. One of his sons will be the next king. Samuel was afraid that God's job was too scary. The old king was still around and he was a very mean guy. But God promised Samuel, I will help you. So Samuel walked to Bethlehem and found Jesse. Line up all your sons and let's see who will be the next king, Samuel said to Jesse. Samuel looked at his first son, Eliab, and felt sure God would choose him to be king. Eliab was big and good looking, but God disagreed. Samuel was looking at the outside of Eliab, seeing how strong he looked. God was looking at the inside and did not see the right love in his heart. Only one of the sons came forward to see if they would be chosen, or one by one, the sons would come forward to see if they would be chosen. This one, nope, sorry. This one, How about this one? I don't think so. Finally, they ran out of sons, except for one, that is, Jesse's son David was outside watching the sheep. They called for him. David came inside. He smelled a little bit like sheep, but his eyes sparkled with joy and love. David was just a boy, quiet and gentle. Samuel tried to see David from outside and inside. This one, a hush fell over the room as everyone waited. Yes, God told Samuel. Yes, Samuel told everyone. Samuel poured oil from the horn onto David's head, anointed him with God's love and joy. David would be the next king.
Hello, boys and girls. I was going to share a little story about shepherd facts. The story about David, they talked about him being a shepherd. And what you really maybe didn't know, is that shepherds were people that take care of sheep. So back in the day where David was around, people would have animals, and if they had sheep, every single sheep was very important for that family. So if they would lose one sheep, that may mean that they might not eat as much during the year, or that they may not have enough money to pay for rent for their home and land. So every sheep was accounted for and needed to take care of. So shepherds would take turns. So like David and his brothers, they would all take turns taking care of their flock. Because back in the day, sheep didn't go into a barn or anything. They just kept grazing out in the land. And what happens if they're out in the land is that they're at risk for different things, such as wild animals, or falling off cliffs or ravines, or getting stuck in a river or mud. And what they would do is they would use a staff. And what it was, it's like a shepherd's hook. That's the name of it. Shepherd's hook was a very tall wooden staff with a hook on the end, and they would use the hook to kind of grab onto the sheep to pull them out of dangerous places, or kind of pull them back into the group of the sheep. And what the main thing is, you always wanted to corral or keep those sheep kind of together so you didn't have to go off looking for them. So that was the main job of the shepherd. Another cool story is that, candy canes? They were actually designed to look like the shepherd's hook back in the day with David, or St. Nicholas actually had his own hook. So that is why we have candy canes, because it represents the shepherd's hook and kind of represents Jesus in a way that he was like a shepherd to us. His people were his sheep, and that he used his words, such as his words were actually kind of representing the hook, is that he's leading us to his truth. So that's just a little story about candy canes as well. Thank you. Hello, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Odekirk and Nicholas here to talk about some family conversations that you guys can have together. So how do you think it would feel to be a king or queen, Nicholas?
Boring.
Why would it be boring?
Because you just sit there all day.
Do you think you just sit and do nothing? I don't think so. I think that I've seen things about the queen, and they go and travel, and she rides horses and drives jeeps all around her property. That sounds pretty cool to me. Well, I guess Nicholas thinks it's boring. What are the things God sees in your heart?
How trustworthy I am and stuff.
Okay.
How nice I am to people.
Okay.
How caring for whom I am.
Okay, I would agree. What do you think you'll be when you grow up?
A technology person.
Oh, you like technology, right? Yes. What are your favorite things in technology?
That's hard.
What's your favorite product?
Apple and Microsoft.
Yeah. Why is it hard sometimes to look past people's appearances to see their gifts on the inside?
I don't know.
That's a tough question, right? So if you would see somebody that maybe was a little bit dirty, their clothes didn't fit them very well.
They don't have enough money?
Maybe they don't have enough money. Maybe they had a scruffier beard, kind of dirty, bigger person. Would that make you a little nervous to talk to them? Versus someone that maybe might have like a suit on. Yeah. Sometimes it is like the appearances might make you a little scared because they don't look like somebody that you might feel comfortable with. But sometimes we just gotta be a little brave and get to know a person for who they are on the inside, because once we get to know them, we know that they can be a good person. So those are some tough questions, but good questions asked as a family. Thank you.
Dear God, some days we feel small. Some days we feel tall. We have all been smaller. And we all get taller. Thank you for looking into our hearts and seeing us for what's on the inside, not just our height on the outside. Whether we're small or whether we're tall, thank you for loving us all the same, both small and tall, every day. Amen.
Hi, everybody. So we had some really cute ideas that you can do with this lesson plan to spread God's love and message to other people. You can do things as a family, such as making heart-shaped cookies, kind of like Valentine's Day, or bake a cake and shape it into a heart. There's lots of YouTube videos on how to do that. But I also found a cool idea from the Spark website, is that you can make heart-shaped little hearts. I actually used a sticky note and I cut it. There are actually heart-shaped stickies, Post-it notes or sticky notes out there if you want to order some or pick some up at the store, but I actually just cut it out myself, and you can do the same. Kind of works on shapes and using scissors and all that fun stuff. And that you can hand these out to people, and it says, God loves you always. God believes in you. So you can also write "Be the Light" on your little sticky notes. And if you feel like passing them out when you have the opportunity to be around people with COVID, that might not be as often as you would like to, for safety reasons, but maybe even passing them out to your family, sticking on places that they might see it on the mirror or in their bedroom, on the door, just to make their day a little bit brighter. So those are some fun ideas. Another idea is if you want to take some of the sticky notes or pieces of paper and putting them on the windows to show that you have God's love in your heart and spreading it to others. Thank you. Hi, everybody. So one of the cool ideas that I read about in the Spark website was to make your own candle holder out of a jar. So what I did is found a jar, and you can ask mom and dad if they have one that needs to be recycled, like old spaghetti sauce jars. If they do canning, maybe they have an extra one laying around, a baby food container jar that you might have still from when you were a baby or when your brothers or sisters were babies. So that's one of the things to do. They also recommended using some wire in place of that and being more child friendly. I got pipe cleaners. Go to the dollar store if you have some extra crafts around, that's great. And what they said is that you can wrap one around the top of the base, and then what they also said is that you can decorate that with beads, which I did right here. I went to the dollar store and for $1 got 5 different colors of beads, so it's a really good deal. They're not sparkly or anything. They have other styles. And then you can decorate the whole around the whole rim of the pipe cleaner, and then you can tie it in the back. If you need some help, ask mom and dad. The second pipe cleaner will be going and making the actual holder, the hook, that can attach to something. So you put this around, maybe mom and dad can help you, so you make sure you twist it around, and then you want to make a good handle. So you said about 6 inches. I don't think you need to measure it, but if you need a little help twisting it around, the other pipe cleaner, ask mom and dad, because jars can be a little heavy, so you want to make sure that it's supported enough if you want 2 of them. And then I got a really cute little candle, flicker candle, instead of using an actual candle. I think this is a little bit more friendlier and safer. You can even use if you have a glow stick and putting it in the middle. And then you can just put it in the middle. Mine kind of tipped on the side. It's okay. It's all good. So here you go. I thought this was a really good representation of us being in the light. And here you go. Here's your little candle. So this can show how we can share the light with others. Really cute, huh? Thank you, guys.
Be the light. Yes, be God's light in this world. That's what He asks of you and me. Be the light. Be the light, shining brightly out there for all God's people to see. Be the light. Be the light. Be the light to help all God's children be free. Be the light. Oh, the light of love.